Hey guys and girls, welcome back to the Retro Basement Arcade. Got a little surprise in the mail yesterday. I got my Xtreme Gaming Cabinets drives back for the Beast deck. If you haven't seen my other videos, instead of buying an entire Beast arcade, I had Daryl make me a Beast deck. So this is a Xtreme Gaming Cabinets Beast Unleashed. See it right here, but it just came in as the arcade deck, and the computer and everything is underneath this. It's not in the cabinet. I had built this arcade, already had my own marquee and speakers and everything up there, so all I had to do was retrofit the deck to my existing arcade, and everything's been wonderful. Now, when I bought this, Xtreme Gaming Cabinets had entered into their partnership with Integrum Retro. For anybody that is unaware or maybe finding this video, there's a lot of hoopla out there about this. Xtreme Gaming Cabinets was trying to offload some of the labor-intensive work of maintaining their drives in the systems. As improvements came out, as new marquees and new bezels and new shaders and new programming and everything came out for the systems, that stuff takes a lot of time and a lot of hours. And Xtreme Gaming Cabinets is a small family business. They have some other employees in addition to family members, but they are a relatively small business in Australia. So they wanted to kind of have somebody that was dialed in and working on the programming and keeping that up to date and providing customer service on the drives themselves with the systems. And that person would be compensated for every cabinet sold. They get their money for the drives. At the same time, Integrum Retro was given the CNC plans, all the drawings to have all the metal work done, taught how to build the machines. Everything was shown to them and given to them. That was probably a mistake. I would have charged money to have my designs and things. But anyway, walked them through everything, how to do the printing of the artwork, how to get the CNC work done, everything to do with the Xtreme Gaming Cabinets cabinet. And that partnership was supposed to be that Jason Baker of Integrum Retro would maintain the drives and resolve issues that came up with the drives and provide support. I'm not going to get into exactly what happened there. It gets messy. I just kind of want to move past the whole thing. Needless to say, that didn't happen. There was rumors that any Xtreme Gaming Cabinets customer wasn't getting support. Only the Integrum Retro people were getting support. I don't know details on any of that stuff. That was just one of the things that was out there and said. What I can tell you is that Integrum Retro, their drive started out as a 16 terabyte drive. As I said earlier, Xtreme Gaming Cabinets had the 32 terabyte drives, two 16 terabytes drive. So one of the things that was provided to Xtreme Gaming, and one of the things that was provided to Integrum Retro was the second 16 terabyte drive with all the PC games and everything that came along with that, the Switch games, everything else. And the deal was that was all supposed to be integrated into Jason's build. I think that there was a lot of stress because Beastcade cabinets weren't going out with the new drives. They were being held on the floor, not shipped out, even though they were sitting there done, because there was work to be done on that 32 terabyte system to properly integrate it in with Jason's drives. And from what I understand, and I had multiple conversations over the months with Daryl, that just work wasn't being done. Integrum Retro wasn't dialing in. They weren't updating anything on the system, the main system where they do all the updates on to build the drives in Australia. There was, I guess, problems with people getting support. There was a lot of frustration, So the idea of handing over the support and the maintenance of the drives to another company to do, it seems like the effort was that Integrum Retro was putting in was really learning to build the cabinets and taking orders and starting to make their own cabinets and getting their shop and their uh, display floor, if you will, all set up and done, and a lot of construction on their end and not much going on with the drives. So what happened was customers were just sitting there, where's my cabinets, where's my cabinets, where's my cabinets? They couldn't be shipped because the drives weren't ready for the system. And that culminated into a big kind of a blow up where Xtreme Gaming cabinets just had to walk away and go back to maintaining the drives themselves. You'll see some hoopla out there that they don't know what they're doing, don't know how to do this, they can't maintain a drive. That is the biggest load of nonsense I've ever heard in my life. They maintain one of the best virtual pinball builds that you can get. In fact, people are willing to wait months and years to get a virtual pinball cabinet from Xtreme Gaming Cabinets, and that stuff is all done by Daryl. When I say all done by Daryl, I don't mean he develops the software. I mean he configures the free software that is out there from Visual Pinball and everything else, and the tables and everything that he puts on there. He makes that configuration to work with the equipment that they build in their virtual pinball machines. And if you've never done that, it is very, very I shouldn't say very complicated. That's not it. There's just so much to it. You add one thing, you upgrade this, and everything else breaks. It can be very frustrating. What I'm getting at here is that virtual pinball is much, much more difficult to do than MAME and arcade emulators and especially Launchbox. Hyperspin used to have some trickiness to it. And the very first thing I ever had from Xtreme Gaming Cabinets, the build was Hyperspin. And somebody who's gone through all the iterations of Hyperspin since it came out and getting into Rocket Launcher and everything else that comes along, you know, that was a lot more complicated than Launchbox, Big Box. They kind of made it easy. And even RetroBat is pretty stinking easy. So anybody to say that Xtreme Gaming Cabinets can't maintain a drive is that's just pure silliness from my opinion. It's pretty easy to learn, pretty easy to do. It's the effort and the hours that go into doing that, and getting other stuff done, you know, logistically with the business. So that effort to offload that has stopped. Anyway, and as of right now, Xtreme Gaming Cabinets has removed the Beast, the Racers, and the Light Gun cabinets from their website. They're no longer taking orders for them at this time. The purpose for that is so they can catch up on all of the virtual pinball machine builds that they have in the queue and try to knock those out so that they can get their turnaround time on virtual pinball machines to be much faster. They know that somebody puts down, you know, $10, $12, $15,000 for a virtual pinball machine when it's all said and done with shipping. You know, somebody that's going to do that, they really don't want to wait 2 years to get a machine. They know that, and they're working very hard to get that down. The goal is to have that within 3 to 5 months. And once they get through the onslaught of orders that they got over the COVID years, which is really what had put them in this situation, that's the time frame that they're shooting for, and they believe that it is absolutely obtainable once they get down to a more reasonable rate of orders coming in through the company. So at that time, they'll bring back the Beastcades and the arcade decks and the Racecades and the gun cabinets. All that stuff will come back. In the meantime, what I'm going to be doing is putting my drives back into the Beast deck and booting this up and taking a look at it. So I'm going to go ahead and lift up the deck here, and it just lifts up like this. Anyway, we'll be doing that and putting the drives in, and then we'll come back and boot the machine. All right, we're back. What I have done, see the underside of the board here, it's all lit up. So I had the machine plugged in, but the computer's not turned on yet. So in the Beast deck, I can't speak to where they'll be in a Beast machine, but in the Beast deck, this device right here is drive number 2, and the one over here is drive number 1. So we're going to lower the deck down. I've got them both put in here, both plugged in exactly where they go, made sure no wires are pinched, anything is out of the ordinary, everything's tucked in. I didn't mess anything around. So let's shut this up. And for our initial test, we're gonna press the power button, which is right down there. That turns the machine on. That turns the PC on anyway. The machine is already on. And we'll see there's no signal up here yet. No signal on the screen. So this is truly the first boot. So it's highly likely that I may need to grab a keyboard and dial in and set the boot so we can sequence so it finds the operating system. But figured we'd give it a try and see what happens without doing that. This motherboard is coming up. So far, so good. It's usually a good sign. Yep, there we go. Found the operating system. Launched Windows. It's going to boot into Big Box. Takes a little bit. And if you just heard that noise, that was the servo motor. These are servo sticks, which means when it comes to a 4-way or an 8-way game, little servo motors move and switch them from 4-way to 8-way. There were some other sticks that you could get where you lifted up on the stick and twisted. I had those in another build. They work really, really well, but the servo sticks are pretty cool. So one thing I believe I might have to do is add my license to LED Blinky. In order to get the servo sticks to actually function, you have to have a licensed version of LED Blinky. When I got the Xtreme Gaming Cabinets Integrum Retro build, Integrum Retro did not include that license on the file, or didn't have it. If they were supposed to, it wasn't set up. So I had to go in and do that to make that work. So anyway, it does not appear that Big Box is automatically launching. So let me get a keyboard and we'll go figure out what's going on there. Be right back. All right, so it's been a few minutes. I know I just cut back into the video. It doesn't seem like a few minutes to you guys, but I wanted to take a look at what was going on and to why Big Box didn't launch automatically. The shortcut to Big Box in startup points to D launch box Big Box. Well, it's pretty easy to see when you get into the system that XGC2 is coming up as the D drive and XGC1 is coming up as the E drive. So it's pretty difficult for me to hold the phone and try to make these changes. So I'm just going to explain what I'm going to do and then we'll come back and look at it. What's going to happen is I'm going to change the drive letter and path. Let me see if I can do this real quick. So you see here, change drive letter and path. And what you have to do is you have to go in and change the drive letter, not to E, but change it to something else. Then I can take XGC1, change that to D, and then go back and change the other drive to letter E. So we're going to do that and come back and I'll show you that it's back and correct so that the drive labeled XGC1 right there actually becomes the D drive. And then magically things will begin to work. So let me do that and we'll be right back. All right, our drives have been switched. And I realized after I did this, I didn't show anybody how you get in to do this. For me, it's a pretty remedial computer task. It has nothing really to do with gaming. It's just managing hard drives on a PC. But let me show you. I have hooked up a mouse to the system. You could use the trackball. I just went ahead and hooked up a mouse. Come down here to the start menu on the system or on the PC. Right click and you'll come up to disk management, which is right here. Click on that and this will open up the window that I was in earlier. And why I decided to, I don't have a mouse pad, so this optical mouse sees all the graphics on this control panel and doesn't like it. So now, if you'll see in here, I have XGC1 marked as the D drive and XGC2 marked as the E drive. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in and we're gonna launch box or big box rather, close out of that, and we're gonna see if it loads. And once it loads, we're gonna check two things. One, like I said, I had to add my LED light, blinky license the last time I was on. I suspect I will have to do that again. If we get a message that comes up and says that the LED blinky is trial version, then we'll have to do that. For anyone that has this, if you did not get servo sticks in your build, you won't have to do this. And the LED blinky trial version is fine. But to have it do some of the other stuff, you have to have a licensed version, and the license is not very expensive, and it's a forever license kind of a thing. So I just have to go back and dig through my emails and find it and then put it on. But I'll show doing that as well if we need to do it. The other thing I want to check when we get in here is I want to go to PC games, because I know that PC games are on the XGC Drive 2, and I want to launch one of those and make sure that it launches for us. So let's first start up Big Box and make sure that comes up now that we have our drives. There we go. Nice and quick. And I had the volume turned way down. So it looks like they've got the buttons. Oh, there's LED blinky and we're on the trial version. So yep, have to go in and put the license in. I suspected as much. But man, they got the LEDs flashing. This is a bit of a light show when it goes off. So let's jump in here. Looks like it comes up to consoles. Now, when I got this deck from Xtreme Gaming Cabinets, they had not added Nintendo Switch games yet. So I'm excited to see, let me jump in here first. So I'm not showing the marquees up top. Xtreme Gaming Cabinets has had somebody working on custom marquees for everything, which has been really cool too. I'm excited to check some of that stuff out. This was the drive. I added my own drive and added Nintendo Switch games to the build. Wasn't in there when I first got the deck, and I think it has since been added. So I want to check that, because there's Nintendo Switch. Let's go in here and see. Yep, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And you can see that there's marquees added for it up here. Gives you the box art, if the box art's available. I said that, now the next few won't have it. There we go, box art. And maybe I just didn't wait long enough for it to switch. Nope, some don't have box art. So if box art's available, it puts it up there, it looks like. But there is a lot of games in here. Anyway, let me get out of this. It's the first thing I want to go check. We know we got to add our LED blinky license. There's 535 Nintendo Switch games on the new drive. So that is nice. And I love just the generic Nintendo Switch banner up there. I'm really big on signage. If you can't tell, I made all these signs with on my laser cutter and hand painted them. And I love signage. So anyway, let's get out of this, and I want to go to, there it is, PC games. I want to go into here, and let's take a look at some PC games. So this doesn't tell me that the E drive is working correctly, because this is in the big box menu. So what's only going to tell me if it's working correctly is if a game launches. So let's go find a game, one that I don't think will take forever to launch, and try to play it. Well, let's try this one. I've never seen or played this game before, but let's try this. What I'm going to be doing is working with a group of guys that have the new build and the new drive. So even though Xtreme Gaming Cabinets is, it's this screen is not currently the correct resolution. Okay, well, we can close that. Well, anyway. Sorry, I lost my whole train of thought here on you. I have to find the mouse once this comes up so I can change this resolution screen. Anyway, we're going to be working to go through the build and find out anything that's missing art, any games that by chance don't launch, any games that don't have marquee files where it's putting the generic stuff up there. It's a lot of stuff to go through, and we're going to just pick one emulator at a time and kind of go through it. We've got a list of stuff that is out there. We're going to maintain that list, and we're going to make corrections. And eventually there's going to be an update server that anybody that has an XGC machine will be able to connect to and get the most recent updates to fix some of that stuff, any games that don't launch or anything like that. So part of our solution in what Daryl was trying to accomplish with the partnership with Integrum Retro, offloading some of that stuff. There's a group of us who have volunteered to go through and assist with that and try to help and find some of that stuff and take some of that load off their plate, and do that. So I'm certainly not the head of that group. I've just volunteered my time to go through some of the menus and do that. But back to why I was loading this game, was just to see if the game would load. That tells me that drive number 2 is the correct drive letter and the paths and everything are correct, and it's working. So that is awesome. Let's go ahead and jump back to quit these PC games. You actually have to quit it like a PC because it's launching. So you got to quit. Take you back to the big box front end, and now you can use the exit buttons for on here. So I'm going to be going through each menu. MAME, I think, is pretty solid. I'm just going to pick an emulator in the group and start going through, launch every game that's in that group, and go through and see, are the controls mapped correctly? Are things coming up correctly? So that's all part of what we're going to be doing. And there's not, again, it's not just me, and I'm certainly not the head of that group that's doing it. I'm just volunteering my time to help out, as I just said. So next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pause the video here, and I'm going to go back in through my email and find my LED blinky license. And then I'll come back and plug it in, and I'll show you guys where to go. If you happen to have the servo sticks and get updated drives, then we can show you how to put that in there so that the servo sticks actually function correctly when you come to a 4-way game versus an 8-way game. So that's something else I kind of want to touch on here a little bit before I go do that. Anybody who has an Integrum Retro XGC build, Beast Arcade, or not even the Beast, it just has that other build that went out. Xtreme Gaming Cabinets, for free, will re-image your drive for you to the new Xtreme Gaming Cabinets build that will be maintained going forward. So don't want to leave anybody in the lurch. Want to make sure everybody feels like they're getting the support that they need to get. So they have graciously stated that they will re-image your drives for you and send them back to you. So you do have to pay postage to mail your drives to Australia. That's what I did. And once they get them, they will re-image them and send them back out to you. Now, from what I'm told, I know one other person that has these before me, and there's a lot of things that are pretty good. There's been a few small things that have been found, maybe some missing box art, maybe a missing marquee here or there. Haven't heard anything about games that don't launch. Haven't heard anything about controls that aren't good. So going to methodically go through each emulator and get that figured out. So if you're on the new drives, when the update server does come out and is released, there'll be an authentication process. So don't worry about that. If you're not an XGC customer, you will not have access to that. It won't work. Anyway, the updates will come. Any new updates up there, possibly even add games, those type of things. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work yet, but anyway. All right, guys, we're back. This will be real quick here to wrap this up. Actually, I might show you the servo sticks working, but what I've done is I went and got the, actually I had to order a new LED blinky license. I didn't realize it, but with LED blinky, you're allowed to install it on up to 4 machines. And for my license, I have used it on 4 machines already. So rather than go through a process with support and all that kind of stuff to figure out which machine I want to take it off of, or discontinue using, or all that kind of mess, I just ordered another license. So I will tell you that there was a license on the build from Xtreme Gaming cabinets already, but again, you're only allowed to activate it on 4 machines, so it does not surprise me that I needed to add my own. Anyway, I have gotten that. I want to show you where to put it. If we come in here to the directory, see if I can get this to show. So we are in the D drive under launch box. So open this up. There's a section down here called third party, and that is where all the add-on stuff lives. And you'll see a folder called LED Blinky. It's kind of hard to hold the phone and work the mouse at the same time. So when you go into this folder, you'll see the license file. When you got a zip file from LED Blinky, and all you really do is bring it in here and put it, but right there's my license file. And that's all there is to it. Once you do that, once you add that into there, it will be licensed, except if you do not have your machine on the internet, you need to do that. The license cannot activate. It will continue to show trial version unless you have internet connectivity. So you guys don't get to see this on video, but I was kind of like, what in the world is going on? It took me about 30 seconds to remember you need internet connectivity. So I went and grabbed my external internet dongle, plugged it into the USB port, it activated, and we have an activated LED Blinky license. You can also check that down here. It should be running. Is it not? No, that's Joy to Tray. Yeah, I guess it's not there because Big Box didn't fire it up. But if we relaunch Big Box, you'll see that there is no LED Blinky trial popping up. So we'll get out of the menu here. And let's go find something that will use a 4-way game stick. MAME will be the easiest, since it's like the Donkey Kongs of the world and whatnot that does that. Let's go in here and see what we get. There we go. Dig Dug will be one. So this is the menu. I'm going to pop the board up here, show you what one of these servo sticks looks like. It's right here. That yellow piece is the servo. When it activates, this will move the gate here to make it a 4-way instead of an 8-way. So I'm going to try to do this and come back real quick. Let's try to launch the game. And you guys can't see what I'm doing, but I'm launching the game. I'm just going to show you this, and you'll hear and see it activate as the game comes on. It's going to make a liar out of me. Might have already been in 4-way. Goodness. All right, well, that was a fail. Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's already in 4-way. All right, let's go find an 8-way game. 1 second. We'll just do this over. So we'll get down to that. Here we go. We'll go back. Let's find an 8-way game. So many games. Actually, let's get back out of that. I'm trying to think of something that I know is an 8-way. This is another thing that just shows you that everything works. I'm pretty sure Ultimate 2 is an 8-way game, but I'm not going to try that one. Let's see. I'm probably going to get all kinds of comments that say, dude, you passed so many 8-way games. So let's try Fatal Fury 3. Let's pop this back up. See if we can see the...
Fatal Fury 3, Road to the Final Victory Garu Densetsu 3, Harakan Arate Taka. Quick Punch. Quick Kick. Strong Punch. Strong Kick.
And there we go. So we just regated everything back over to an 8-way joystick. Also, the Beastcades are a little different because they have buttons that are up here, the natural ones. Because this is a Beast deck, my buttons are down underneath the deck, which is why I 3D printed a little sign here so my kids could figure out where change view, search, and pause was. But if you hit the change view button, you'll see we can take this. I don't like the smaller, but a lot of people like it showing in the original size it was in the arcade. I kind of like making it bigger. So that's normally the size I like to play when I'm playing on here. But this is again, I built this arcade myself, other than the Beast deck, and that's a 32-inch arcade or gaming PC monitor that is high res. So that's just the size I like to play. So I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. That's what you do. If you have a Beast or a machine that came with the Integrum Retro XGC drive, you can send your drives back to Xtreme Gaming Cabinets and get the new build that's going to be updated and maintained going forward. And that'll also benefit everybody once XGC catches back up with their machines, like I talked about earlier, and they start offering the Beast and the Extreme Racers and those things again. Then we'll get to see how that process plays out. So again, guys, this is just one to show how to do this. If you have one of these machines and you send your drives back in, it's not difficult. It's pretty easy to do. More than happy to help anyone that gets kind of stuck in something that they're doing. If it's something easy that I can help with, just leave a comment down below. I try to reply to all comments that are left. I have all my notifications set up, so if anybody leaves a comment, I typically get notified and try to jump in and answer some of those. So I'm gonna leave it here. I do have 2 more videos coming, hopefully soon. I have my review of the 3.0 drive for virtual pinball. I had that completely filmed and ready for video editing, and I went to Halloween Horror Nights in Universal Studios, and I was sitting on the plane deleting a bunch of stuff and didn't realize the folder I deleted all those videos. And I have software set up to automatically delete my deleted to clear everything out. And yeah, so I need to reshoot all of that. So I'm going to be working on that today and tomorrow. I'm also going to be adding the leaf buttons with real stern LED style pinball buttons that activate the leaf switches, along with LED lights. and I'm going to be putting those in, and they're only going in for the actual flipper controls. So once I get the 3.0 review done, I'm going to do a video, and I think I'm going to re-show how you take this off and undo the button. And I have to lift my monitor out. It's a generation 1 cabinet, so my monitor has to be lifted out. It doesn't pivot on a board like the Gen 2 cabinets do. So I'll probably show all that stuff again, and then put the LED buttons in there, and that'll be it till we do a next video. I think is probably going to be adding a new table and backlash and everything for the My System. Kind of showing people how easy that is to do and get that set up to work. So that's probably going to be a while. But anyway, going to leave it here. So far, the new drive haven't really found very much wrong, but I'm going to start on one wheel and go methodically through that wheel and make notes of what's missing and start the upgrade process. So if you have any questions, leave them below, and we'll see you soon.